Hello viewers, welcome to Face to Face. I'm William Grinaldi, and we normally discuss about various topics and interesting topics to be discussed in each episode. And for this episode, I'm gonna discuss a special topic, kind of like we're talking about tourism and hotel management. Something different to talk about. And I have the guest here, which is currently taking education and hospitality management, so it's kind of related to the topic. So without further ado, I'm gonna invite the guest here. She is Michelle Christian. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hello.
Hi,
welcome
Michelle.
to the show. Let's take a seat. Yeah, so maybe you can introduce to the viewers first about yourselves and what are your daily activities, and discuss a little bit about your education that you're taking.
Okay. Hi, my name is Michelle Christian, and now I'm studying in Pelita Harapan University, and I am a hospitality management student.
Oh yes, so interesting. For this episode, we're going to discuss about everything related to hospitality management, which is currently your education that you're taking. And maybe you can tell me a little bit about hospitality management and like people's perceptions, like hotel. So like you're constantly working in a hotel. What do you learn about it? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
I think that hospitality management is a interesting industry because I learned so much from what I'm studying. Yeah. And I know that sometimes that people's perception is about like hotel, that are you working in a hotel, like oh my god. But I think that is interesting. That is an interesting profession for me.
Yeah, so I think it's mostly like giving service and also handling with people's needs.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's quite interesting. And so maybe you can tell me about what are you currently busy with at the moment.
Right now that I'm busy with studying, of course, I have a busy schedule at my campus.
Oh, maybe you can tell me about like the workflow, or the the education that you're taking, about the descriptions. As you mentioned, you are currently studying in Pelita Harapan. Maybe you can tell me about what are the daily activities that you have.
So in 1 week, usually I do one practice. The practice is about F&B service.
Oh yeah.
It is the practice where I serve people, and I'm working as a waitress. That I serve people in a fine dining restaurant. So yeah, I have to be a good waiter.
Oh, are you study cooking or anything related to the kitchen or something?
Yeah, I studied everything from the first semester until now. I am in the 4th semester. So I learned about cooking, kitchen and the pastry, and then I learned about how to be a receptionist.
Oh,
and then I learned to be a housekeeper.
Oh, so it's everything related to hotel management.
Yes.
And so, so you're interested in cooking, so you're like to eat food?
Yeah, I do.
And then, maybe, for the information, like, for some of the major, maybe there are some specification on taking like pastry. I'm more interested in food and beverage. What is the difference, or how is it related to Pelita Harapan hospitality management?
I think that Pelita Harapan University that has a hospitality management major, that we studied everything in there. So I think that we have to understand each practice from the 1st semester until the 4th semester.
Oh, so it encompasses everything related to being a hotelier, something like that. And so, is your hobby related to the education that you're taking?
Yeah, I think that I kind of like serve people. I think that is a good work for me especially because I like to make people smile, and I like to see that people are satisfied with my work.
Oh yeah, so you seem to like really happy relating to people.
Yeah, I know.
You know, giving.
I like meeting new people and
yeah.
learn about something new.
Okay, and maybe you can tell me about the motivation for you to take the major, maybe for the start in maybe in junior high school. What makes you interested in taking the high school concentrated and
Tourism,
hospitality
yes.
management? Yeah.
Biggest motivation is myself and of course my parents, because my parents also like encourage me to taking this, to jump in this industry.
Oh, so it's I mean, like parent supports are
Yeah.
also very important. Yeah. So maybe you can tell me about your senior high school experience. Yeah. For what I know is that you already took education, high school education that is also related to what you're studying now. So maybe you can tell me about the experience and how is it different from the university.
So I took a vocational school. I studied at Saint Theresia Tourism High School.
Oh yeah.
That is different from what I'm learning right now in the campus, because what I learned in high school is I learned about travel industry. But right now I'm currently studying and I understand the hospitality management. The difference is, I think, in the campus I learned so much about practice, but meanwhile in high school back then that I didn't take a lot of practice.
A lot of like learning by doing thing, just more on the focus on the theories or maybe procedures or anything like that.
Yes, focus on the theory, but there were a practice too, but not too often as in campus.
Oh, okay. So maybe you can tell me about some of the things that you learned or some of the memorable things or information that you learn most that are important to what you're studying, and you can apply that, so you're you're taking it before, so it's quite an advantage, I think.
Yeah, no. Because I have learned so much in high school that I can apply it in my university, but there are a few different subjects when I was in high school and I was in campus, but I think that there are one or two same subject that I have learned in high school and I have learned too in campus. Yeah,
you master that. And maybe you can share some of the things that you learn in senior high school. Maybe some of the noticeable things.
Okay. So I think that there are many of memorable things that I've done in my high school. Some of them are that I have to guide all the way, like in Jakarta I have to guide and I have to be a tour guide, when explaining about something in front of the bus. I have to in
front of people.
I have to give the information about something. For example, that I have to explain about the Sudirman Street, and I have to tell the history of the Sudirman, who is the Sudirman, like that. Yeah.
Oh, so it's also involves public speaking.
Yeah, it's also involves.
So it's not just plain tourism. It's also really.
And I have done 2 internship when I was in high school.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll talk about your internship experience right after the break.
Okay.
Still on Face to Face. Stay tuned. viewers, welcome back to Face to Face with me, William Grinaldi. And for this episode, we're currently discussing about a topic that is quite interesting. It's talking about taking education in hospitality management, and we have the right guest for today, who is currently taking the education in hospitality management. And we're currently just we're about to discuss about your internship experience in junior high school, in senior high school, which also related to tourism. Maybe you can tell me about your internship experience.
So I've done internship twice when I was in high school. The first internship when I was like in the 11th grade. I was a guide in Indonesia Bank Museum. Indonesia Museum. I was a tour guide in there, so I have to give the information about the museum.
Maybe like there are, what are some of the things that you have to learn? Learning about the information, or is it just plain textbook learning, or is there anything different?
I have to learn from every picture because every picture in a museum has a description on it, so I have to read it by myself, and after that I have to memorize it, and then after I memorize it, I can tell the guest.
And also you have to know the direction, the places.
Yes.
So it's kind of like like having quite memory, like in a film like Night in the Museum.
I know that.
Is any different?
Yes.
And so like maybe you can tell me about some interesting moments that you had experienced when you're you're doing your internship. Maybe there are some foreigners or interesting moments or funny moments. Maybe.
I think the interesting moment is when I have to guide the guests. All the way from the museum, because I think that it is kind of hard to organize many of people. When the museum are too crowded, and I have to divide them into the group, and then I have to control the crowd. I have to divide them into the group, and then I have to lead them and then give them information about the museum.
Also, what are the visitors actually usually like little kids, or or just adults, or these various
I think
visitors?
Various visitors from the adults, and then the kids from school, and then many foreigners.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can tell me about the experience, like handling informations to give to the foreigners, maybe your experience.
But sometimes the foreigners they don't want me to guide them because they like to walk themselves. So I think that when I have to guide, it will be the school kids.
It's quite hard to control.
I know that.
It's all over, maybe everywhere. So you need to take care of the things also, or are there supervisors and taking care, or do you need to take care of the things also? You need to look after. I
need to take care of all of the things. So especially when I have to guide the crowd of kids' school, I have to look after them, because if not, they will run away to anywhere.
And you can tell me about Bank Indonesia Museum. Are you focused or concentrated more on the museums, or are there any museums around the specific museums, or you can maybe tell me about?
Bank Indonesia Museum is in the middle, because it has another museum around Bank Indonesia Museum. On the left, there is a Mandarin Museum, and on the right side there's a Fathahillah Museum.
So you're currently more concentrated on the Bank Indonesia museums. And maybe you can tell me how you got the internship, or how were you were chosen to be the tour guide in the Indonesian Museum?
I was chosen by the school because it is from the school, so yeah, the school placed me in there.
Oh, so the school has connection to the museum.
Yeah.
So yeah. So come back to the discussing about your taking education in hospitality management in university in Pelita Harapan. Yeah. What was it like? The experience, and how is it different from the junior high school? The senior high school.
There are a few differences, and there are a few like the same thing. I think the difference is it takes a lot of your time because you have to study from the morning until the noon. It is different from of course different from the senior high school. But I think the same thing is I have to wear uniform too on my campus.
Oh yeah. So like real hotelier.
I have to well groomed.
So being well groomed is also an important thing.
Because
because
it shows you to be a professional hotelier.
Okay. So first impression is also
first impression is important.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell me about some of the subjects you've learned in the university.
There are many subjects that I have learned in the university, such as a cooking subject. But a cooking subject is divided into two: the practice and the theory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I learned about F&B service. There are also the practice and theory too, and housekeeping.
Oh, housekeeping also has a theory.
Housekeeping is also has the theory. What kind of floors are you using, like that, and stuff.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I never knew that housekeeping also needs theory.
I never thought that it would need any theory, but from what I learned, it is important too.
Okay. And so, is your ambition or is your passion related to the educations that you're taking right now? As you mentioned before, you like serving people and giving service to the people. Maybe you can tell me about how is it related to the passion that you have?
Yes, I would say that it is related to the passion that I have, because my passion is I like to, as I told you, that I like to meet new people, and then I like to serve people like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, what do you like? What do you like most about cooking? Like, do you like certain food cooking process, or do you like? Can you tell me about what you learned about cooking?
What I learned about cooking is so much. I learned so much about cooking, that from how to cut the vegetables, and then like that, and then I have to learn that when you want to serve the food, what kind of plate do you use?
So like certain things.
Yeah, I know.
In normal people that they don't take hospitality management, don't notice about it. And so, what are the challenges that you face until now that you're taking the education?
I think that the biggest challenge is when I'm in campus is it takes a lot of your time, and you have to be strong, because being a professional hotelier, I think that is about all professionalism.
Oh, so like you're working, I don't know, like early in the morning.
Yeah, and then you have to go home at night. Sometimes you working overtime. Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of like you spend most of the times in kitchen, or like there are some kind of practice, like in a hotel, in the room or something like that?
I spend a lot of my time in the practice laboratory, like in the kitchen, in the restaurant, in in the hotel
So there's
room.
like simulation.
Yeah, like simulation like that.
Oh, so what's interesting about it?
What is interesting about it that when I did it, like I did it for real.
Oh,
Yeah, I did it for real. So I have to be good because the industry needs people that are good with anything.
Oh,
In
so you
attitude and-
expect to be good at like the whole process,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you know, from cooking to room service
yeah,
to
like,
something like that. Oh, okay. And so, you know, like maybe you can tell me about the subjects that you have to face to the next semesters, but you can answer the questions right after the break. Still on Face to Face, so stay tuned. Hello viewers, welcome back to Face to Face. We're currently discussing about a topic that's quite interesting, hospitality management, educations on hospitality management, and we currently have the guest right here, Michelle Christians, and we're currently discussing about your internship experience and currently discussing about your expected experience and on Pelita Harapan University.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell me about what will you face on the next semester related to your internship.
I will learn the same as the fourth semester but I think in the fifth semester it is more focused on the internship because I'll be doing the internship on the sixth semester.
Oh, okay. So like what have you prepare? What you know? Maybe you can tell me about you know, the certain regulations on someone's being placed in a hotel. You know. Like
Some of the regulation is that you can choose where you want to be when you be doing the internship.
Yeah.
For example, that you want an internship in Bali like that. So when you tell the teacher, the lecturer that you want to do an internship in Bali, the teacher will look at your scores. If you have a bad score, I think that you won't be placed in there.
Yeah, okay. So you'll be just replaced on Jakarta.
Yeah.
And, you know, in being, you know, maybe just a receptionist or something. Yeah, and like certain scores, maybe certain subjects that someone is good at will probably, you know, like probably will determine the positions that is in internship, or how was it like?
Yeah, it includes that. If you do a great job in the front office, you will be placed as a receptionist. But
okay.
if you do great as a chef, you will be placed in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, so that's quite a good thing. So like you're most interested in will probably determine what is your position in the internship. And so maybe as you mentioned before, you had experiences also being a tour guide in senior high school, right? Maybe you can tell me about it, and what was it like? What was it different than being a museum guide? You know, like what are the challenges? And maybe you can tell me about it.
It is different from being a museum guide because I had this study tour. It is overseas. I have to guide all the way in the place. Like I have to give the information about certain place that I have visited, like that. The difference is, I think that when you was the guide museum, you have to explain something, but when you have to be a tour guide, you have to travel and then you have to explain about the place, and the informations are so much.
Yeah, so like you have to like be flexible and
Yeah.
maybe, like you have to notice
Yeah, I
as
have to-
fast, like because you're moving like
Yeah, like that.
Maybe you can tell me about experience. What you study overseas? Where do you take that? Where do you experience being a tour guide in overseas? In which country?
So the first country that I've visited with my school, with my classmates, was in Thailand,
Oh,
Bangkok,
yeah,
Thailand.
yeah.
And then after that, I went to Singapore. And then the last is I go back to Indonesia. I went back to Indonesia, and the last place is in Bali. And then I went back to Jakarta again.
Maybe you can tell me about the experiences, being a tour guide in Thailand, in Bangkok, because like it's a different. Maybe it's quite different, and you have to learn certain
Yeah.
language pronunciation. What's the difference and what is the challenge?
The challenge is I have to memorize all the things, and I didn't know the details about Thailand and the street about it, so I have to search it on a map and I have to memorize it, and I have to.
And the pronunciation, maybe like it's quite difficult, like
Is it? It was.
reading
Yeah, it was.
different language.
Yeah, it was so difficult, but being a tourist was fun, and I have learned a lot of it because you lead the guests,
No, yeah.
you organize the guests from the very beginning of the tour until the last day of the tour, until they go back to Jakarta again.
Were there any like, the guests that maybe ask, weird questions or like having different, asking different unexpected questions, unexpected requests, maybe?
From I've experienced, no, there was no guest that asking me such a question like that.
Yeah.
So because they were all my classmates, so they just
yeah.
listened to me and then just laughed away.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just like it's a procedure from school or something like that.
Yeah, but you know that the teacher was looking after me, so they listened to what I was saying, and they gave me a score to that.
Oh, so you have guides also.
Yeah.
So being a tour guide, guided with guides.
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. And do you have plans for, after you graduate, what do you want to have a job, and what is your most passionate about?
After I graduated, that I want to work in a hotel.
Yeah.
I want to work in a hotel, and I want to know how the hospital industry looks like in a real life, because right now that I see the hospital industry just from my campus, like I did it for my study, and after I graduate I want to work in a hotel, and hopefully that I will get the best job for that.
Oh yeah, okay. And we're like having experience first, taking education in the senior high schools. Were there any advantages that that is included on your taking education in university?
There are some advantages that I have learned in high school, and then I'm learning right now in the university. The advantages are, I think that in high school, I have taught to be nice to people, like to be a professional. So I think that I can apply it in the campus.
Oh yeah, so that's quite an interesting thing
Yeah.
to learn. Yeah. So we have actually photos that we can discuss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Yeah, so you can tell me about the photo.
So this was in
Butterfly, what is that?
this was in Nong Noch village in Pattaya, Thailand.
Oh, Pattaya,
Yeah.
Thailand. It's
Well,
like your whole classmates.
Yeah, there are a whole closet, and on a corner you can see there was my teacher.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
guiding lots of, like future tour guides.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in the Nangnoch village that me and my classmate didn't guide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
watched
like the travel.
special performance like elephant performance in there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's also in Thailand.
Yeah, this was in the Grand Palace, Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, so you visited the Grand Palace?
Yeah, I visited.
The
Yeah, I visited the
inside
Grand
and-
Palace.
Oh, did you, like required to, know the information in the Grand Palace?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my teacher required my classmate to take an information from the Grand Palace and then to write everything.
Yeah. Okay. Next picture. Oh, so that's the educational trip.
Yeah. So this was in Uluwatu Temple, and this was in Bali.
Oh yeah.
The last place to visit in the study tour.
The last place. And what was like the difference? Like learning. Like learning. Different cultures. And was it? What was the advantages? What was it related to the passion in in learning different culture, various cultures?
Yeah, that that I have traveled to those countries with my school, so I've learned about what is a Thailand culture look like, what is the Singapore culture look like, and I learned from that and that I understand.
So maybe you can, maybe you have to learn about certain information
Yeah.
for the places, but you have to learn also about the people's culture, or maybe people's way of communicate was different.
Yeah, I have to learn that also, especially in Singapore. That is a very strict country that you cannot throw any trash in the street, or you cannot eat a gum, and you cannot smoke.
Yeah.
All
Pretty-
in the street of Singapore. It's pretty strict, and when you wanna cross the street, there are
some certain regulations.
yeah, there's some certain regulation
You have to
also.
cross,
Yeah.
cross the zebra cross.
Yeah, you have to cross at the zebra cross, and when you want to cross, you have to look at the traffic light. When it says to, like, you have to stop because the cars is crossing the street, and you
Yeah.
cannot cross
It's
the
a
street.
country with lots of. It's a fine country.
It's a fun
It's
country.
a fine.
Yes,
Lots of fines.
lots of fine.
Yeah.
But I think that in Thailand, it is kind of same with Indonesia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So is it like the same? What was the thing? Some of the things that are same, like in Indonesia,
The
from
things
what you experience in
the
trip
things
there.
that is same is, I think that the people in Thailand, I think that they look like as in Indonesia. Yeah.
What was
And
like the culture? And what was the culture?
the culture is different because when you want to say something as in good morning, it has a difference between the feminine and the masculine things.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah. And the dialects. And
Yeah, the
like-
dialects is so different from what we learn here in Indonesia.
Yeah. So what have you learned? Like, being adaptive to various people, and maybe giving service. What do you learn most about it?
What I learned most about it is you have to understand the people's culture and their personality, because you cannot treat people as the same person. Yeah, you have to know the personality, and then you have to treat them as if you learn how their personality.
Oh, okay. And so you can tell me about some of the subjects that you have to face on the next semester.
The subject that I have to face on next semester is the same as what I'm learning now. I have to learn about the F&B service, food and beverage service,
Oh, yeah.
and I have to learn like French language in this semester and the fifth semester. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like French language is also very important.
Yeah.
Related to the food, you know.
Yeah, and then it is also related to the food, and I think that French is becoming one of the most important languages beside Mandarin and English, I think.
Oh, yeah. So like lots of terms
Yeah.
relating to cooking.
Yeah.
Are associated with French language. Yeah. Maybe you can tell me about some of the examples. Like some noticeable examples, you know.
Noticeable example is, I think about the food, because there a special word that we use in the kitchen, but it is used as a French language.
And cannot be translated into
Yeah.
Indonesian.
Yeah.
Like maybe some of the cuts or
Yeah, the cuts also.
yeah, they have like certain type of cuts.
Yeah,
you know.
certain type of cuts, and
Maybe you can
most
tell-
of them
Maybe you can tell the
is,
examples.
I think that is like jardinier.
Oh, jardinier.
Yeah, yeah, jardinier. It is a French term.
for cutting.
For cutting,
oh,
yes.
yeah. So that's quite interesting. Maybe we can talk more about it.
Yeah, of
But
course.
right after the break. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Still on Face to Face. Hello, welcome back to Face to Face. We are currently discussing about interesting topic, taking education in hospitality management. And for those of you who want to become hotelier, maybe you can certainly tune in and gain some interesting experiences from the perspective of our guest for today. Yeah. You were currently just discussing about your internship experience, Michelle, and maybe you can like tell us about what have you learned about those kind of experience, and also your decision to also take the the major that is currently related to your senior high school experience also. Yeah.
So from the second internship, that I was an intern in a travel company.
Yeah.
So in there that I was in the ticketing division, that handle gas, and I pick up the phone. We have to serve them when they want to reserve a ticket or searching for a ticket or book a ticket. And also that I was in a hotel division, making a hotel voucher, and then I was in a document division, making people's visa if they want to go abroad to the country that needed visa.
So it's also related to administration.
Yeah.
So lots of administration things. And so maybe you can tell me about the experience, and do you perform more on the ticketing and the administrations, or do you prefer more on the hotel?
Taking people administration was fun, because when the guest gives you like documents, you have to call them, and then you have to ask them to complete their documents. So if you have complete your documents, you can write down the visa.
So are there any some memorable moments, or are there people complaining about when you're taking those kind of experience in internship?
Yeah, once I was in the ticketing division and I had a bad experience. I had a bad moment when the guest was complaining to me because I gave them the wrong ticket. And I have to pay for their ticket, and I have to book their new ticket. That's kind of sad, I think.
So maybe taking those experiences, you learn from doing those experiences.
Yeah, but by doing the mistakes, so I have learned something that you learn from your mistakes, and you cannot like repeat your mistake again.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Interesting moments, and maybe you can tell about the viewers about like some kind of motivations, or maybe there are viewers that has the same passion as you. Like maybe you can tell us about the motivation.
I think that the motivation, especially when you're taking a hospitality management or when you're jump in hospital industry, you have to be strong. Because it takes a lot of your time, and you have to be tough because it takes a lot of your strength. That you have to stand up from the morning until the noon. That you cannot sit down. You have to serve the guests like that. Yeah, because I think that hospitality industry require people that has a good attitude, require a lot of professionalism,
a lot of positive energy.
Yeah, positive energy and smile.
And so Michelle, thank you so much for joining in this episode.
You're welcome.
Yeah, looking forward to next conversation.
Sure.
So until then, I'm William Rinaldi signing off for this episode of Face to Face. We'll see you very soon.